When a farm has a culture of care, it is something that not only do you feel, but you see in everyone's actions day in and day out. It's a place where people not only want to give care, but they are expecting to receive it because it's a culture where everyone knows that their actions impact other people. And people know that their actions impact the other people back, and vice versa. There's a relationship with the animals as well, right? When they get the care they need day in and day out, they respond.
Welcome to the Swine Health Blackbelt Podcast, the latest swine health research digested for you. My name is Dr. Clayton Johnson, and I'm the host of the podcast. Joining me in our illustrious podcast studios this week is Dr. Sarah Probst-Miller. Dr. Probst-Miller is the president and creative director of AgCreate Solutions, Incorporated. Sarah, thank you so much for coming on the podcast again. It's a pleasure to have you here. If you would, why don't you start with an introduction for the audience?
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Johnson. It's wonderful to be here. Yes, I am president and creative director of AgCreate Solutions. We work to create innovative training and educational material that reaches the heads and hearts of people. You know, we really want to create behavioral change on farm and honor that the farm is a great place to work, but we all have to be a part of creating that culture of care on farm.
Well, I know, Sarah, you and your team, you develop a lot of technical training. You also work a lot with just engagement of employees. And let's start there with engagement. A lot of people hear the term engagement. You know, it certainly is a buzzword that you hear in business settings. But what does engagement mean to you? What practically is engagement?
Clayton, I have to acknowledge a mentor of both of ours, Dr. Larry Firkins. He's just one of my most favorite people in the world. And way back in 2009, in my first decade of veterinary practice, I was in the executive veterinary program. We were talking a lot about engagement. And I'm not sure I truly understood what it meant, but engagement is really the ability of us as humans to capture the heads and hearts of other people and on the farm of other employees to instill an intrinsic desire for excellence. Now, those are big words, but basically it means we have the ability to that people want to do good. They want to do good where they are. They want to be present in the moment and show up and choose good behavior on farm.
Farms aren't necessarily a setting that lend themselves to easily engageable situations. You've got wean to finish farms, nurseries, where maybe you're the only worker there most of the time, right? You're by yourself, and we don't always have a good understanding, Sarah, of if we're doing well or not. You know what I'm saying? Where maybe we've got a sick group of pigs and we're trying to take care of them, but we can't snap our fingers and make PRRS or flu go away, right? So sometimes it's tough. We don't get a lot of, I would say, objective feedback on how well we are doing. Are we achieving excellence? You know, we hope so, but we don't really know. So on a farm setting, how can we engage people? How can we make them feel engaged with all those barriers in place?
Wonderful question. I think that it's really important for us to understand that the science shows that engagement starts with management. When Gallup looks at the amount of impact of how we can move the needle on engagement, they measure that 70% of that variance starts at the manager level. Now, like you said, wean to market barns are a great example. Often we're working to manage those folks remotely. What's amazing, though, is that we have wonderful ways to have one-on-one connections with people from afar. And strategically doing that as a manager is really important so that person doesn't feel like they're alone. Because engagement is not just about being present and choosing the right decision. It's also about feeling connected. And so, Dr. Johnson, we're going to talk about some fluffier things like feelings, because feelings matter. And when it comes to engagement and also the culture of care, the words our managers choose to use set the stage for whether or not they're able to create a vision that inspires another human being. And so some of it comes down to giving managers support in a company so that they can become the bridge between a company's vision and what's reaching the employees and or the contract growers on farm.
You mentioned a culture of care, and certainly that's intertwined with the engagement. What's it mean to have a culture of care on a farm?
Yeah, when a farm has a culture of care, it is something that not only do you feel, but you see in everyone's actions day in and day out. It's a place where people not only want to give care, but they are expecting to receive it, because it's a culture where everyone knows that their actions impact other people, and people know that their actions impact the other people back, and vice versa. There's a relationship with the animals as well, right? When they get the care they need day in and day out, they respond. There's communication back to us, not in a Dr. Doolittle sort of way, right? But we see it in their health. We see it in their behavior. And you've felt it, haven't you, right? When you walk on a farm and you're like, oh, something's wrong here. And it may not be a disease. It may not be, a big fire, but it's like, there's like something's wrong here that I can't quite put my finger on it. And sometimes it's relationships, right? Relationships between humans that's hard work. And again, cultures of care start with managers. They start with managers. And as a leadership team in a company, our managers need to be equipped, supported, and connected. And if they don't have those top three things taken care of, they're just not able to support a culture of care and be that bridge from leadership to the workers on farm. So once again, with both engagement and the culture of care, we've got to invest in our leaders and give them the equipment, the support, and the connection they need to be able to do their jobs well.
Salmonella presents significant challenges to pig health and performance and poses food safety risks to humans. As the first and only vaccine offering live attenuated strains of both Salmonella cholerae and Typhimurium, Enterosol Salmonella TC from Boehringer Ingelheim protects pigs against both serotypes with a single oral dose. Talk to your Boehringer Ingelheim representative to learn more.
If I'm a manager listening to this and I'm buying what you're selling, but I don't know that my farm has that culture today, how can I go about building that culture? What do I ask for in terms of being equipped? And how do I connect with my employees to try and drive this culture of care on my farm?
Yeah, let's just start with equipped, because when you're asked to do a job, you need certain things. So let's just pick something simple. There's nothing more frustrating than being asked to give injections on farm or a vaccination and not have the needles that you ordered 2 weeks ago on farm in front of you. Like, that is so frustrating. And then as a manager, you're thinking, they're going to be totally upset with me because these pigs aren't vaccinated, but why won't they ship me the needles on time? And so, like, being equipped is just having what you need to do the basic stuff day in and day out. And it's amazing how much frustration not having what you need gives to the culture on farm, but it's also like super common for folks to, for whatever reason, to run out of something that they need. And it may not necessarily be a lack of communication on their part. And when they order something, they don't receive it on time, they feel like they don't matter. And that is more harmful than the needles not arriving on time and those pigs not being vaccinated, because then you have a manager who feels like they don't matter, and you're expecting them to bridge that vision to everyone else. And that's a big ask if they can't, receive the simple things. And then on support, we're asking these managers to do so much. And as leadership, if we promise something, we need to deliver it. So if we say, okay, I'm going to be there to help you train on this subject on this day, that manager is counting on that support. He's he or she is creating an environment where they're looking forward to the arrival of that person. And if that person arrives not prepared, underplays it, or they don't make that visit significant for that manager and that team in a way that honors that manager and honors that team, it becomes a negative experience in the bank account instead of something that raises everyone up. So when we're looking at our upper leaders supporting managers, we have to understand that these folks separated out on these islands of farms, every visit is a big deal. It's a big deal that the farm's looking forward to. And then the last bit of being connected. It takes work to have good human-to-human interactions. It's not easy. We know this. We know everyone knows this, as we all have relationships that for whatever reason aren't going great right now. And it's not the other person's fault. So often as leaders and managers, we can easily identify the opportunities in other people. That's an easy thing to do. It is more difficult to take the time to be self-aware and mature ourselves to understand our half of a relationship and really arrive present and devoted to having a good relationship on farm. And for that manager who has the ability to take that engagement score and have a 70% influence on that score as to whether or not people are going to show up and offer care to pigs day in and day out, we have to honor our relationships with our managers to make sure that they are equipped, supported, and connected, and have the tools to be more self-aware, to communicate well, to be able to give the vision on farm and be that bridge between leadership and what we want them to do day in and day out.
Excellent summary. It's a difficult, both engagement and care are very difficult topics to cover succinctly. But Sarah, I think you did a tremendous job there of getting to the bottom line. Setting the managers up for success sets the farm up for success. And at the end of the day, farms that are successful are generally pretty happy places to be and pretty happy places to work. Excellent summary, Sarah. And thanks for everything that you do to try and make those farms an engaging place to work and good care for the people and the pigs.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Dr. Johnson, for all you do as well. Take care.
Yeah, you too. We should thank our audience before we take off here, Sarah. We could not do it, certainly, if we didn't have the folks that listen in. If you're listening and you haven't checked out our website, please go to swinehealthblackbelt.com. You can see this episode with Dr. Sarah, as well as all of our other episodes as well. Please, if you would, take a moment to like and subscribe. You got all this content for free. You basically got a TED Talk on care and engagement from Dr. Sarah Probst-Miller for free. So all I ask is that you click on the like button. That's all I ask. It really helps to drive the algorithm and helps to get this good information to other people and other farms that can benefit from it. For Dr. Sarah Probst-Miller, I'm Dr. Clayton Johnson. It's been a pleasure to spend some time with you, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.